So all you need is a white candle. I did post on the notes the prayer. But I will go through it very thanks, Chris. um I posted it on the notes, the prayer. Of course I saged and then cedar my space before I do anything. But this is just a prayer for peace because we need it in this world right now. Um, there's people that don't have a choice, right? Um, there's people that choose to be part of the army to protect, but then government decides to send them and they have to go. And then they leave behind people, which is hard. Um, and then in the other country that's being bombed, there's regular people like you and me that maybe don't want this. Um, that families that have children. So whether you're fighting, whether you're fleeing, this is what it's meant for. Is it just meant for peace? Friday is astrologically um, a really good day to do this. Um, so that's why I choose Friday. So white candle is all you need. Um, and just light it. And the more people that do this together, the more energy it sends. Anything done in a group setting, whether together or separately, but same intention, is a much more powerful. I'm just trying to get this to stand up in it. The candle holder is really small, but these ones I get off Amazon, they burn very clean. They are called White Spirit and Air. Um, these ones specifically can represent any color. Um, but white is just for peace. Um, I have my Medusa candle going as well. Uh, I will show you my setup. It's at my main altar. I'm just trying to get it so you can see what's going on. Um, yeah, I hope that was visible. Now I'm just going to go. If I knew how to place it on the screen, I would. But I'm going to go through this very slowly. So the purpose of this isn't about politics. It's about people. War does not only affect those who choose it. It affects families, children, elders, and people forced into situation they did not consent to. Many are required to fight in certain countries. If you're a certain age, you're required to. Many are forced to flee with nothing but the clothes on their back. This candle is for the innocent. There's a few different versions of this, so I'll go through it slowly. For those who are fleeing, may the roads open before them. Again, for those who are fleeing, may the roads be open before them, and safe passage be granted. For those who must hide, may they remain unseen. For those who must hide, may they remain unseen and protected from harm. For those forced to fight, may they be shielded from death. For those forced to fight, may they be shielded from death and return home whole in body and spirit. For families and civilians caught in between, may refuge, mercy, and aid reach them. For families and civilians caught in between, may refuge, mercy, and aid reach them. For all who are suffering because of war, may peace surround them where it can, and hope not abandon them. When you're saying this, I want you to think and envision the people who aren't in the position that you might be in, safe in your home. Remove the politics, remove the differences in religion and belief, and I believe that the politicians have more blood on their hands than the soldiers do. The soldiers choose to fight for freedom of their country. Many I know in the US choose it as a career because there's no jobs. In countries across the world, I know where my husband is from, in Lebanon. If he were there and war broke out, um, even though he wasn't born there, his family is, he would be forced. So think about that. Think about not having the choice. Like the draft that our grandparents went through, great grandparents. Think about that, not having that choice, and what that really means. Did they choose your name? And those wars were terrible. We lost badly. in Vietnam. But still people went. My dad personally was like getting ready to go when it ended. So I'm grateful that he didn't have to. So I'm going to do this once more. I want you to take a breath. I want you to focus this in your heart chakra. Imagine that it's just people like you. Imagine that you're just breaking bread with them. Could you still pull the trigger afterwards? I couldn't. But I couldn't anyways. Unless you threaten my children, I suppose. These things bother me a lot. It's why I do this kind of thing. So, breath in, bring it to your heart. Even if you put one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, let the understanding of the people that won't have a choice sit. And the people that choose that they put themselves at risk for our safety. So, any way you look at it, I mean, is this one necessary? I don't think so. But I'm not going to get into politics. Just people. So, white candle, if you can, sage your surroundings counterclockwise, cedar or Palo Santo clockwise to close. Make sure your window is open so the energy moves. If you have water and something that represents earth, great. If not, just a white candle does it. And the more people that do this, the better. I know I'm being repetitive. I'm trying to make a point. So, one more time. For those who are fleeing, may the roads open before them and safe passage be granted. Oh, hey!
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
You look good.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. The
I
hair
had
looks different.
yeah, I dyed my hair.
Yeah, I did too.
Um, I also, got the results of my, CT scan, today, no evidence of disease. My one, liver lesion is, benign. It hasn't changed at all, and it's tiny, tiny, so they're not worried about it at all.
Oh, that's so good. I'm so happy.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's so hard when you're waiting for results like that, and when you don't know, like you hope and you pray and you do the cleansing work, um, but you don't know, right? And then that's like very difficult, and it's hard to deal with. My husband, his brain tumors are growing. Well, new ones are growing.
Mm, I'm sorry to hear that.
Um, but I mean, he has a few months to kind of fix some things before surgery possibly will happen. Um, it's a genetic disease. So there's nothing you can do. Um, yeah, it's hard. It's a hard reality. It it makes the silly things you argue about insignificant, like, and it makes the bigger things in life more important. Oh, we have a few people now. Good. I went through it once, but I will go through it again. Um, so when we think of healing, right? We did a little bit of healing together. Um, this is healing on a bigger scale. This is like asking to heal the planet, stop the politicians from this madness. Um, but at the very least, help the people that are affected the most, the ones who are innocent, the ones that don't have a choice. Um, I learned this prayer years ago. Uh, I can't remember what was happening, but there was another war going on. It was probably about 3 3 years ago. So I can't remember what exactly was going on. Um, but I remember we were doing it. Oh, it was yes. So when um the people were coming here from it was a eastern country. Is slipping my mind, but I remember now because that's when um like in Canada, Trudeau was in power, and he just blanketed let like everybody in. I think some of the wrong people got in, and some of the people that should have got in maybe didn't. Um, and now in Canada, our infrastructure is collapsing because of like the influx. The people that needed to be here need to be here. But I know that others took advantage. And that's the sad part about things like that. When you try to do the right things and people take advantage, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah, I could, especially, like, before, like, all this, war conflict in the news and everything, it's like my intuition was simply telling me that something was coming. I didn't know exactly, what it was or what it meant, but, like, when it happened, it all made sense.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was definitely like there was so much building. When like Charlie Kirk got killed and stuff, and there was like all that stuff, and it's I know in the US like it's just been this madness. um I know with my ileostomy group a lot of people suffer with medical, and I don't know what your situation with coverage is, but I know it's a little more complicated than in Canada. Um, when I was in the hospital, I was in the hallway for a night. Um, that's how it is here. Like it's hard to get into a room. You're literally stuck in a hallway. It's our infrastructure is collapsed. Um, but it's all free healthcare and it doesn't matter. You can go wherever you want. There's no restrictions on that. But they need to build more hospitals and schools. They need to fund nurses and doctors and um, but I know I have people in my ileostomy group and they're forced to go to certain hospitals and then um, that hospital will recognize them as a problem patient because they're coming in all the time. Well, it's complicated having different illnesses or stuff in your body. Um, and scar tissue can wrap around your intestine. Um, and
Yeah, abdominal adhesions.
yeah, like these are real things when people have the surgeries, like and I know you've had surgeries too, and that's a thing, probably a thing for you as well, as it is for me. I've been gutted from here to here. Um, and like I know when I went, I messed up my back, but they didn't pay attention until I couldn't empty my bladder. And then they're like, "Oh, I guess you really did something bad." But they left me, like, waiting for hours and hours with just, like, Tylenol and Advil, and I was just crying and suffering, and it's ridiculous, and then, like, if you don't have something that's, like, broken or, uh, having a heart attack, if they can't see it, they don't recognize it. Um, and I have friends that have now have complicated issues because they weren't taken seriously in the beginning. And that's a collapse, right? But it's
Most
the
certainly.
doctor. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that I have a very unique lens on that because I both had that very major surgery via esophagectomy, and I'm a nurse caring for those people as my
Yeah.
career. So I've been on like I've been the patient in the bed and the one taking care of the patient in the bed.
And you're overworked. I know you're overworked, um, and underpaid for what you do. And I know, like, when I was in nursing, uh, uh, it was the same thing, like, our amount of patience we had, the amount of time we had to get stuff done, you don't have enough time to give the actual care that you wanna give. You just have time to give medicine and give basics. I worked in nursing homes where, we had to get, especially in dementia wards, where I had to get, uh, the patients out of bed and down to breakfast. And, you start your shift at 7. You have to have a report, so you don't get out till 7:15, 7:20. Breakfast is like 8, 8:15. You get like 8 people. Like, do the
Right.
math.
Yeah, a good analogy that's came to my mind is that you're in a place full of flames and you have to put out the biggest fires, but at the same time, it doesn't stop the flames that you can't put out from burning.
Oh, did you see that message for
Yeah,
you?
I just pulled it up here. Yeah, I've been talking with him quite a bit. It's good to hear from you, Michael, and it's very interesting that we have the same name. I'm Michael Grayson and Michael Goldenberg, same first and last initials.
Yeah, that must be a nice connection, and it's nice when that happens too, right? Um, but yeah, I'm so glad you're doing well and your writing is amazing. Um, I are you getting really good reviews?
Yeah,
Um,
so the feedback that I'm getting is excellent, and actually, today it's interesting because she's on this chat right now. I've Me and Allison have established a relationship where she's going to do editing for my book, and we're doing some collaborative editing. And I had a consultation with Dr. Michael Ireland, who's a world renowned editor, and I had that session today, and I learned so much from it that it made me both excited and just kind of like, oh shit, what have I gotten myself into now, so to speak. So
it's a big undertaking.
yeah.
Like I've been um going back and forth from, okay, I should do this and I should do that. I haven't signed contract with anybody. I've just been like, okay, I think this is going to fit me perfectly. And then, but in between that, I have been keep sending my manuscript out to different places, contacting literary agents. Um, and then today I found out that, in Edmonton, which is a couple-hour drive from me, there is, um, a publishing house that it costs $500. That's it, and they put you on everything. I just have to do the marketing, but the marketing that I don't feel comfortable doing, I can hire somebody to do that, right? The self-publishing, um 3,000 minimum Canadian up to I've gotten quoted like 23,000 American, and these are, like, ridiculous for they're not even guaranteeing signings, like book signings, it's just all SEO, right? There's no guarantees of anything. They're all, and when you go on and you're just looking at different, sites, and then these bots pop up and they just start, quoting it. It's just
Right.
ridiculous. So, the hybrid model I was willing to do, and that's where I was leaning until today. And then I spoke with my husband and he said, "Well, this is so much more doable." So I'm gonna reach out to Substack because there has to be somebody out here that can do marketing for a reasonable cost. Um, and maybe somebody can do a pass. I've already soft edited, but I'd like somebody else's eyes to just take a pass. Um, and then it'll be done in a month. And then I'll have copies and it'll be in all the places. Um, I own the domains, um, that match what I'm branding already. I did that previously, so I've kinda preset myself up. But I know, like, the Substack community, there has to be, people that are willing to help market. Um, and you said, yeah, there's if you can put me in touch with whoever had a consultation with editing, I'd love to know that. Um, because I'd rather pay an individual than a corporation that is basically ripping people off, right? They're
Right, right. Yeah, it's like a lot of the deals they offer are just, like, really, really predatory out there.
Yeah.
In fact, like, I was educated on some where it seems like you sign up for a service, they promote your book for, let's say, like 1 or 2 years, but they hide it in the contract that if you sign the contract after, like, the 2 years is up, they actually own the copyrights to your book after that.
Yeah,
And it's really scary, it is.
it is. It is. It's very, very scary. This one in Edmonton, I can literally take the files and go. Like, I own everything. Um, and it will cost me like a couple dollars to print them. Um, and of course, like Amazon and stuff are print on demand normally. Um, and then they have an actual store. I already have Indigo Chapters, one store close to my home that I've already spoken to the manager. Um, so I'm able to self promote to a point, but when technology wise, I kind of suck at it. So, um, so that I will outsource. And of course, an independent review I would like. Um, and but everything else, like my illustrations, I can do them on Canva. My cover is a photograph of myself that I'm just making an illustrated version of and then putting it on a cliff. Um, so, I mean, I've already done all this, right? And I've built a website before. An author's website is way less complicated than a service-based website. So, um, and those are the things, right? So it's like, yeah, you need an author's website and that kind of thing. Where are you going to go for publishing? Like, have you decided, or are you still looking? You going to do
Um,
self?
I mean, probably like 90% sure that I'm going to do, self-publishing. After I establish that, I've decided that, like, if, like, one of the bigger publishers comes to me after I've, went through the, work and done, all of the steps myself, if we wanna negotiate some kind of a deal that, like, doesn't really take advantage of me or whatnot, that's fine. It's like I'm considering putting together query letters and, looking for, literary agents also.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, don't tunnel vision yourself. Like, talk to lots of different places, get all the different quotes. And the biggest thing is so anybody can say this is our author. And like I had this one company say that the author Milk and Honey, I can't remember her name, but she writes poetry books. Um And he's like, "Oh, that was one of my authors." Well, how can you say that when you have an NDA with the author, right? And you don't you're self-publishing, so your name doesn't go anywhere on the book, right? So what it's you can't even prove it. Like, unless you're actually selling them on your site and you have those rights to do so, like, it's really hard to prove that. So, yeah, be careful. Even the hybrid, they want 50% royalties.
Mhm.
Um, I do have editorial control. The reason I liked it was because it's in the UK and because mine is very spiritually driven, more witchy stuff. Um, and my roots are out there. and I want to do a tour out there, and I know they could facilitate that. But also, I'm sure I can get in touch with somebody to help me do that on my own too, right? Do I need to give up 50%? That's a lot,
Yeah,
right? That's a
indeed it
lot.
is.
And in their contract, they have it so because I have 3 books and the other 2 will be done in October. So they get the first look at anything else I do, right? So it's kinda that you get something, but you kinda give, you're giving too much, you know? And then my voice, right? It's yes, I'm kind-hearted and giving, um, but my edges are a bit rough, to be honest. I've been through a ton of life, um, and I don't want anybody to dilute my story. And like yours, right? Like your voice is your voice, and don't let anybody, um, you know, soft soften it just
Right, right,
because just for someone else's comfort. Um, People actually, I think, crave more authenticity than, than the softened edges. I don't know, my opinion.
mm,
But, like, I like, your very first piece I read, it brought me to tears. Um, I haven't had much time to read much lately, that's why I was asking how it's been landing for you.
yeah.
Um,
Um, I'm going through a round of, I wrote a rough draft and I've been, doing some, self edits, and I'm almost, done with those, self edits, and, from there, I'll be, making, my book Blades of Resurrection available to, beta readers who are interested.
um, my advice, though, is don't give don't give too much away for free because then when it's for sale, if it's already for free, um, the why,
Right.
you know?
There's gonna be a number and a limit on
Yeah,
I do it. It's gonna be like 10 to 15 at the most.
yeah. So, that's just my advice. I don't wanna I know a lot about your story and a lot of the depth and, people will take for free. Um, so it's what I try to do is I try to write things that, may not show up in my books, right? They're just other things I write about, like the thing I'm doing with a card, a chakra, and a yoga a day. That's like, is something that just keeps evolving, but it doesn't belong in a book because it doesn't even make sense to go in one, right? Because it's something that's a moving thing. And then hopefully this Sunday, I'm feeling my back is feeling a bit better. I'll be able to actually do the poses and show people live what not to do if they don't know already, and show modifications and whatnot. And then yeah, I my when I did the one Sunday, I read the first chapter of my book. I'll read little bits of it so people can see what is coming, but not give the whole thing, right? So, and especially when I- it's it's trauma, um, it's sometimes like do you find when you're writing about it, it's cathartic, but do you find it is also a bit traumatizing too?
Um, yeah, definitely a little bit of both, but there's also like a third lens that I've kind of seen, through my writing with the memoir. As I've been writing it and as I've been like rereading it and editing it, I'm almost like being able to imagine a parallel world where I could see, like, myself, like, in a different storyline, so to speak, if that makes sense at all.
Well, that's, ART therapy, so, it's this, right? Is where you take a trauma and you look at it like as you're watching a movie
Mhm,
and you move through it, um, and when you're doing it, you watch for the people's body cues if they start tightening up or, and then you stop and ask them where they're feeling it, and then you release it, and then you just keep going through it until, you've kind of processed it, and then at the end, or even when you're going through it, you change it. It doesn't change what happened, but what it changes is how your body is reacting to it, like reacting to the memories. So the memories are still there, um, but you can write a more comforting ending, um, and it just removes uh, the stress out of your body, and then, of course, that removes it out of your life, right? Like, then it's easier, to move through it. So, EMDR and ART therapy, I think, are absolutely amazing, um, especially for, trauma. But I did find, like, when I wrote about, in the second book, when I write about human trafficking, that I went through, eh, it was hard, I cried and it was hard. These memories are hard. They're painful. Doesn't matter how much therapy you do, they're still painful, but it is cathartic but painful. So it's finding that perfect balance. And I know through doing polyvagal and then chakras, um, that allows me to release a lot more. So even if it's triggering, I know how to release it. So, but yeah, with any kind of spiritual trauma memoir stuff, it's yeah, make sure there's always that balance. I just know for me what it was like. And I just wonder for you because, your stuff is deep and heavy and um if you ever need, just like message me and, we
yeah,
can process, right?
appreciate it.
Yeah. Um, because I know what it's like to go through things like that. I know what it's like to process it. And then like you, I know what it's like to take care of people, right? So it's like being the patient and being the caregiver, understanding both parts um is also a lens that, like, a lot of people don't get, and that is power. I just think it's so beautiful, like, how you, with your wife, how all that happened, um, and just that you're here today and, that you're like, it's like you said, like, the tests have come back good, so that means that whatever you're doing is, energetically is working and yeah, keep writing. I mean, we need more authenticity. We need more real stories. There's enough fake shit in the world today.
Right, very true, yeah.
Like there's in the TikTok world is i- i- like how my kids grow up. It's yeah, it's just We need more authenticity.
Yeah, we're, generally, like, we're taught to be afraid or ashamed of our own authenticity, and that's what a lot of this, memoir is about, no longer being ashamed about any of that.
Yeah, I write, in the beginning, because as a kid, growing up being different and knowing, like, I was, uh, different, um, and feeling that, you know, whatever it is, uh, whether it's, feeling different in your body, or for me, it was just like I saw things differently that nobody else did, and it's accepting, and it's other people not shaming you for however it is you feel, even in childhood, like recognizing your children if they feel different, and um don't shame them for it. There's
Right.
there's
Yeah,
there's too much hate and anger, and like with war, there's too much. There's just too much,
yeah,
and it's ugly.
yeah,
Um,
right. Yeah, I'll give you a key example, and this will be, something great for, people participating in this call. It's something that I directly reveal in the memoir. One of my, where it's like it was a traumatic experience, but it wasn't a traumatic experience at the same time in my childhood. What had happened was, when I was growing up in my early neighborhood and like my preschool years, like around kindergarten and all that time, I was very neurodivergent and I was bullied a lot in that neighborhood. And kids from that neighborhood took advantage of that, and there was this one day where one of those kids that bullied me, he took me to his backyard, and there was this baby bird that had fallen from this tree,
oh
and
no.
he kept asking, like, "What should we do with it? What should we do with it?" And it's like, I don't know what to do with it," and he's like, "We have to kill it, we have to kill it," and he gave
Oh,
me this rock, and it's like, "You have to throw it down," and I said, "No, no, no." He took the rock, killed the bird right in front
oh,
of me, and then screamed to everybody, "Oh, look, retarded Michael just killed a bird."
oh,
And no one believed that I didn't do it, not even my mom, and she wouldn't feed me dinner until I admitted that I did it.
oh my gosh. And I know,
Yeah,
like, your soul is so gentle. You would have never done that.
right, right.
And for that accusation to land, and then your parents forcing you to admit to something you didn't do, like, that's just, and that's what I'm saying, like, it's we need to protect our children. If we see they're getting bullied, as parents, we need to stand up, take action. Um, and, you know, a lot of times we think that they're just because they're kids, they make up stories. Well, sometimes kids make up grandiose stories, but sometimes they don't. So, you know, don't jump to conclusions, and, like that. Oh,
Yeah,
and things like that, like animals getting injured and stuff. Like, oh my gosh, those things just break my heart.
right,
Um,
and because of that one moment, I became, like, such a people pleaser and took on so many responsibilities that weren't mine to bear, and I became so overly apologetic about everything. It really, really harmed me.
yeah. And so, yeah, even so that story, right? So if you think about it, you go back to it, like, how does that feel in your body? Where does it land? Um, and that's how you know whether it's still a trigger and whether you need to release it still. Like, is it still tightened somewhere? Does your chest tighten? Does a shoulder or anything? Then you know that it's still something that needs to be released from the body. It's released cathartically in the story, and then um hopefully that boy will see it, and he's a man now, and he'll see what he did, or another bully might read it and see, maybe their wrongs. But a lot of people that bully come from abusive households, right? Um, it's like a passed down thing, right? Um, or they're oh, hello. um,
Hi, Nightler.
uh, so like hereditary violence, or um so gender um expectations, right? Like when boys can't cry kind of thing, right? Or and girls have to be a certain way. um it's making that awareness that we are human, and we have both um female and male inside of ourselves, and different parts of it come out at different times. And yeah, it's and if people don't tell you enough, you're brave for what you do by telling these stories. um so you know I hope you know that there's and that it will help somebody, and it probably already is, right? Like, I'm sure your story is already helping other people. And that's what resilience does, right? So when we go through trauma, but when we become resilient, like it, we go through it, it's the strength that we show to move past it. Um, it's those arcs, right? So you write about the trauma, you write about what it does, and then you write about the arc of coming out. So when that reader is reading it, they don't just stay in that clenched moment. They come out into relief, right? Um, and that's how it goes, right? So you go through trauma, and then eventually, like with the bullying story, I'm sure you have processed parts of it, and um but yeah, I could see, like, I can visualize that memory, and how painful that would have been. And really, when a baby bird falls out, um what you should do is put gloves on, not touch it with your hands, and place it back in the nest. So if you touch it by human hands, a lot of times the parents will disown it. But if you pick it up with gloves and place it back, then normally the parents will take care of it. And, the moral of the story is the baby should have been put back, not killed, right?
Right,
Should
right.
have been should have been given a chance. And you should have been given a chance, right? So the whole, like, if you look at the whole, you know, that's when I look at stories, right? I kind of look at it from all the different angles of how the different characters play, you know. And yeah, like I remember I was teased a lot in school. Um yeah, all throughout, even in high school. I was a brainiac, but I was like a headbanger. Um and those were the days when you had to wear the polo shirts and the preppy, and I wore the jean jackets and listened to Metallica, right? So it was a very outcast feeling. Um, and yeah, like people can be so cruel, but there are a lot of nice ones though, too, right?
Most definitely, and they're worth
And
fighting for.
And yeah, they totally are. And that's what this is about. So I don't know if you heard it or not. I'll go through it one more time before my candle's out. Um it was in the beginning, so if people want to watch just the beginning. So I go through the white candle for protection and safe passage. It's for any wartime vigil. It's not about politics, it's about people. War does not only affect those who choose it, it affects families, children, elders, and people forced into situations they do not consent to. Many are required to fight simply because of the age. Many are forced to flee with nothing. Many are hiding, waiting, or enduring. The candle is lit for the innocent. So, what we speak is for those who are fleeing, may the roads open before them and safe passage be granted. For those who must hide, may they remain unseen and protected from harm. For those forced to fight, may they be shielded from death and return home whole in body and spirit. For families and civilians caught in between, may refuge, mercy, and aid reach them. For all who are suffering because of war, may peace surround them when it can, and hope not abandon them. And if we all just put that out there on Friday, um, the energy shifts. It's like, when a lot of people pray over one person, it's more intense. So the more that do it, the more intense it is. And think about your heart chakra. Think about like projecting like a emerald green light out. And then the white light is for peace. But the green is for the heart chakra, and the emerald just flowing out for that abundance of love and peace. Like I say, if you sat across the room from your enemy and broke bread, had a meal, put the guns aside, talked about family, talked about, could you then kill each other? Right? But now we send drones, so it's so detached, right? Now it's so much detached.
Mhm.
But our grandparents and great grandparents were hand to hand stuff. But still, like, could you go to that land and then send that drone? You know? But I get it. People are forced. The politicians are the ones that have the blood on their hands. The soldiers that fight, they fight because they have to, you know? Um, but it's the politicians that make the choices. And essentially it's all on them. It's on their soul, and they're gonna have to answer for it. In my belief, I think they will have to answer for it. Um our planet is already in such a state of grief that the last thing we need to be doing is destroying it. Um, in these lands, like Iran, they've got caves that have writings on them, ancient writings, because like stories like Tiamat and Absu come from there. Um, and those are very ancient stories, and there's just things that are being destroyed that you can't replicate because they were created, you know, 200 BCE. And so it's not just loss of life, it's destruction to the environment. There's animals and destruction to um, what our ancestors created in art, in faith, that is destroyed as well. So I don't know. I just think about the whole big picture, and wish it was different. Yeah, but you do what you can, right?
Right. Because ultimately you can only change yourself.
Yeah. I mean, we can elect better people, right? We have
Oh,
that power.
well, yeah,
But
it takes a collective effort, but it all starts
yeah,
with us.
yeah. I mean, everybody has to go and vote. You can't complain if
Yeah.
you don't go and vote,
So
right?
my wife has given me a call, so I'm gonna get off of here, but it's been great talking with you,
Yes,
okay?
you as well. And if you need anything, give me a call.
Okay.
And I think my candle's almost done. So I hope I repeated it enough for everybody. Um, we will chat soon, Michael. Many blessings to you. Blessings to everyone out there. And if any of you are personally affected, um, my heart and prayers go to you as well. Blessings. Now, how do I? Now I don't know how to stop it on my computer because it's a new computer.